chess friends, I hope you are doing well. Today, I have a very exciting chess game to share with you, played between LeelaZero and me. LeelaZero is the #1 female chess AI worldwide, and this game is impressive and spectacular in many ways. I will illustrate chess opening tactics and middle game strategies, along with some in-game tactics to enhance your chess abilities. So, without further ado, let's get started. I began the game with d4. And while my friend LeelaZero could have responded with d5, she chose a different approach, c5. I then played d5, asserting control, and LeelaZero responded with knight f6. I followed with knight f3, instead of considering e6 to attack the pawn or d6 to gain control over the e5 square. She played b5, a completely different approach aimed at controlling the queenside early. To disrupt her plans, I played a4, attacking the b5 pawn. Recognizing the vulnerabilities on that file, LeelaZero opted for b7. Increasing pressure on the pawn, in response, I made a bold move with e4. The pawn on e4 was under attack by the knight, but if the knight captures it, I will simply recapture the pawn. If the knight retreats to f6, targeting my d5 pawn, I would play c4, protecting both pawns and leaving the knight vulnerable. LeelaZero, however, did not capture the pawn and instead played b4, preventing my knight from advancing to the e4 square. I then played knight d2, a move inspired by my grandmother's saying, "If one door closes, another opens." This knight move opens up new possibilities for my opening development. LeelaZero responded with e6, aiming to break the center and challenge my pawns. I captured the pawn on e6 with f takes e6, and instead of recapturing with the d pawn, which would open up the d file and possibly lead to a check with bishop b5, you can play knight d7, but if you dare to choose knight c6, then I will consider knight e5, putting pressure on her knight. In this position, after a few moves, if LeelaZero had played a6 to challenge my bishop, if she played bishop e7 to prepare for castling, I could have played bishop f4, putting her position under severe pressure. Even a6 wouldn't protect her position, as I would then consider knight g6, attacking her queen. As the queen retreats, I would capture the pawn on f6, gaining material and winning the game. The opening phase demonstrated how vulnerable her position was and the importance of making careful piece combinations. Instead of capturing the pawn on e6 with the d pawn, LeelaZero played f takes e6, weakening her king's diagonal. I pushed my pawn forward, and with my knight dominating the c4 square, my bishop became active, ready to snatch any opportunity. At this point, some players might consider castling to open up the rook file. However, if I played h4 to control that square, my opponent's position would become extremely dangerous. Can you guess what I will consider? Try to think a little bit. That's right, bishop takes h7. Like an anaconda tightening its grip, if she captured my bishop on h7, I would then play knight g5 check, forcing her king into a precarious position. If she dared to move her king to g8, my queen would come to h5, leading to a checkmate threat. Her only move would be king h6, but then I would play queen d3, threatening mate on h7. Even if she played rook f8 to block the check, I would continue with h5, creating a deadly threat. If she attempted to play queen e8, I could play knight f7 check, delivering a devastating blow to her king. Going back to the position, we discovered that queen takes h7 could ruin your position, and playing rook h8 is not possible. Therefore, you must consider rook f5 to block the diagonal. Now, it's not g4 to kick out the rook. The move is knight takes e6, putting the king and queen in a precarious situation where you will lose the queen, and the game will be mine. I love chocolate, and I love the taste of victory as much as I love chocolate. I'll eat some after winning the game. Returning to the original position, we see that castling was a bad choice, leading to a highly vulnerable position. Therefore, LeelaZero instead played knight c6. She is also delicious. I mean, she is playing like a warrior who is as sweet as chocolate-flavored ice cream. I'm just complimenting her intelligence and her beauty. In this position, she wants to capture the knight, then apply pressure on the a5 pawn. So, I played queen e4, and now you cannot capture my knight because of bishop takes c4. putting pressure on the d5 knight with 2 pieces. We have knight d4, and a subsequent series of captures. I didn't capture the pawn on d4 because this position is different from the previous one, and LeelaZero can now castle to open up the rook file. Your knight cannot reach the g5 square to attack the h7 square. Even if you play knight e3, after the knight exchanges, the game would continue like that with no clear advantage. I have to play the game out, and this game might end in a draw. So, let me share an impressive motivational quote with you. Every day is a chance to begin again. Don't focus on the failures of yesterday, start today with positive thoughts and expectations. So, going back to the position, instead of capturing the d4 pawn and giving LeelaZero time to solve the situation and find the best move, I made progress by playing b3, supporting my knight and creating an outpost for hers. A few moves later, my queen moved to g4, and LeelaZero played king d8. You might wonder whether I would capture the pawn on g7, so let me clear up any doubts. I did capture it. I wasn't afraid when LeelaZero later played rook g8, planning to attack my g2 pawn with the bishop on b7. Adding more pressure, and potentially bringing in another rook and the knight on f4, these 4 pieces are like the big 4 armies of the 16th century, Austria, Russia, Prussia, and Britain, but I wasn't intimidated because I could simply push my g3 pawn forward. You might ask, hey, Shockfist, are you dumb or foolish? You're creating weaknesses on the light squares. Of course, my dear friend, in order to gain something, you must sacrifice something. That's a rule of life. I accepted the light square weaknesses because, after a few more moves, when the queen came to h5 and I played f3, this simplified the position, blocking the bishop's diagonal. LeelaZero then played bishop g5, and I attacked her with f4. Instead of saving her bishop, she made a bold move by sacrificing it with bishop takes g7, but you know what? In every sacrifice, there's a master plan. Just as a crocodile hides under the water, waiting for unsuspecting deer to drink, this was a trap. If I had captured the bishop on g5, the rook file would have opened, allowing the queen to arrive on c6 and attack my kingside. The seized rook file, combined with moves like queen g2 or queen h1, would lead to an unstoppable checkmate. So, going back to the position, the bishop was poisoned, and I couldn't capture it. Instead, I played a6, forcing her bishop to move. After the bishop retreated, I played knight d6, planning to bring my knight to e4 to block the bishop's diagonal. This was a plan I needed to accomplish before LeelaZero could make any more attacking moves. In a few more moves, I played rook e1 to emphasize my plan of controlling e4. As the bishop moved back, we exchanged pieces and soon, LeelaZero played rook f5. At this point, LeelaZero could have played d3 to open up the queen's diagonal and capture the pawn, but she didn't. Instead, she offered me a gift with rook f5. As much as I appreciate LeelaZero's gifts, and I do like her, I didn't accept this one because the rook was also poisoned. A few moves later, after she played rook f8, I finally captured the rook on f5, as it was no longer dangerous. Now, with the possibility of creating passed pawns on the kingside, I exchanged queens. A few moves later, I positioned my rook on a4 to put pressure on the b4 pawn. After LeelaZero played a5, I played king b6. This was now the endgame, and I'll share a tactic here. After some captures, f takes g4 is not possible because of the e6 move, which creates 2 connected passed pawns. True beasts that are impossible to stop with just a rook. After a rook check and a few more moves, I captured the bishop, and with 3 passed pawns, I was in a better position than LeelaZero's entire army. Soon, my pawn advanced to f6, and in this position, even if LeelaZero captured the bishop, I could still push for e7, making pawn promotion unstoppable. LeelaZero tried to delay the inevitable with a few checks, but my pawns kept advancing, and there was no way she could stop me. My pawn promoted to a queen, and after a couple more moves, I checkmated her with the kiss of death. But LeelaZero's my best friend, and this was a strong game, a truly insane classical match between the two of us. I hope you enjoyed the game. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Wishing you all the best. Bye bye, and take care.